The Credo is an incredibly important prayer. It expresses what we believe. Credo means I believe. Our word creed comes from Credo. We often sing the Credo in Mass, and sometimes we actually sing it in Latin, even in the Novus Ordo Mass. So I'm hoping that to some of you, the Latin is in fact quite familiar. It's a long prayer, but most of the words are derivatives or cognates from the Latin. So I'm dividing this presentation into two parts. First, we'll look at the vocabulary of the Credo, the cognates, derivatives. And then in the second part, we're going to look at the tenses and voices, the active and passive voices of verbs. I'm splitting it into two parts because I suspect you might want to go over the section on verbs several times. There's a lot of information there. Again, I'm not expecting anybody to do memorization. I'm calling this familiarization. Make it familiar to you. Go over it so your eye is starting to see what is going on in the Latin. Right. The vocabulary. Again, not so hard. And you'll notice I'm getting more comprehensive here. I'm starting with the Latin word that appears in the text, and then the Latin word that will be the word you would find as listed in a dictionary. Then I'm doing the English translation, and then I'm giving an English cognate, derivative, or mnemonic aid, something that helps you remember it. So our first word is credo, and it means I believe, and our word credible means it's something that is believable. Unum, easy enough, unify or unity, union, it means one. Factorum, and I'm putting the accents in now to make that easier for you. Factorum, our word factory comes from it, and that's a place where things are made. So it means our maker, factorum. The next two are very easy, visibilium and invisibilium. Visibilium means visible. We have an exact cognate. And invisibilium, invisible, we have an exact cognate. Right? The word in is a addition to words, which sometimes signals to us that it's kind of a negative. It's a privative. It deprives you of something. So we have the visible, and then we have the not visible, the invisible. Unigenitum, we have our word unus there, and we have genitum, which means comes from the word to generate, to come into being. And here it means the only begotten son, the only generated son. Natum is from which we get our words nativity or native. It means born. Something even natural means something that is born into things. Secula, secularum. You'll hear that a lot in the Latin test. Secula, secularum. It means ages at all times. Secula, secularum. In every age. Our word secular comes from it, meaning this age, or this world, this time. Secular. Not exactly the same meaning, more of a derivative. Lumen, lumine. Both words appear. I have them both bolded because they both appear in the Credo. Our word illuminate comes from this, something that gives light, and it means light. Verum, or vero, means something that is true. Our word verify comes from verum, or verify is a good word. Genitum, we've already looked at that, but it appears again. It means born or begotten, to generate. Factum, same word actually as factorum, something that is made. Our word factory comes again from factum. Consubstantialum. It's a word that was put back into the Creed in the translation, more recent translation. You see several words in there: con, sub, and stans. Right? Consubstans. So stan means something that stands. Sub means something that stands under. So it's the sort of the what stands under everything is being. Everything has a being. And consubstantialum means a being you share with someone. So when it says that Jesus is consubstantial with the Father, it means there's the same underlying reality to the two of them. They have the same substance, they have the same being. There's a lot of metaphysics in that word, in one word, but it's all right there. Con, sub, stans. Something that stands under, that's shared. And what stands under something is its ultimate reality, its foundation. Sepultus est was buried. That's a passive form, sepultus est. Our word sepulcher comes from it, a place where you are buried, right? Resurrexit. Our word resurrection obviously comes from it. It means to be resurrected. It means to rise up again. Resurgere. Surge. I should put the word surge there. Surge means that it rises forward, and it rises again. So it's a resurrection. Tertia, I think we know that word. Tertiary is the third, and it means the third. Ascendit, ascendere, means to ascend, easy enough. Sedit, sedire, means to sit. Our word sedan, a sedan is a car for sitting in. A truck is for something to transport things, but a sedan means you're comfortably, we hope, seated in your car. We don't use that word much more anymore, but it's a nice word, sedan. Iterum means to do something again. Our word reiterate means that you say it again, right? Reiterate, iterum. Venturus est means will come. It's the future. It's the future tense of, it's more than the future tense, but we'll say future tense here. Venturus est comes from the word come, and it means will come, venture. To venture, you'll go forth. Okay. Judicare means to judge. Our word adjudicate means you're judging something. You're looking it over and making a decision. Vivos means to live. Our word vivify comes from vivos. We vivify something, we make it come alive. Mortuos. Our word mortuary comes from mortuos. It's a place where we keep dead bodies. Vivos living, mortuos dead. Regni means a kingdom. Our word regent comes from regni. Finis means the end of something. The end in the sense of where it finishes up. You're going somewhere and you ended up there. So finis more often than not means the end, the end of your activity. Our word finish means I've ended something, it's over. Finitude means I don't have an infinite. There we have infinite. In is a negative to finis. So infinite means there is no end. Finitude means I'm going to die someday. Right? We have a word that's related to vivos. Vivificantem. That is God, who is the giver of life. We actually have in ficantem a form of the word facere, to make. And so it's someone who makes something come alive, the giver of life. Procedit means to proceed, to go forward. We had ascended, which meant to go up. Procedit means to go forward. So in ascended, we had a AS that actually is an AD. So it means go towards something. Procedit is pro and cedere, which means to go pro or forward. Okay, simul means at the same time. Simul is one of these connecting words that never is declined. It's always simul. So is iterum that we just saw. So simul means at the same time. Our word simultaneous comes from simul. Adoratur, easy enough. Our word adore is a cognate. Adoratur. Here we have a passive voice, this T-U-R. We'll see what that is. We have the same thing with conglorificatur. Conglorificatur. So we see two words, con and glory. Oh, we see three words. But anyway, con, glory, and then facere, just as we saw in vivify. But this means to glorify, to make something glorified with. Con is glorified with. Con glorificatur. That's another passive. And then we say locutus est. Locutus est. That's a passive form. It's an active meaning. It's an unusual kind of word. It's called a deponent. You don't need to know any of this. But locutus est. He spoke. Our word locution comes from this, and our word loquacious comes from this. The loquacious person is a person who talks a lot. Per is a preposition, and it means through. And I'm going to be using the word permeate, because permeate is something that goes through something, right? The meate has nothing to do with per, but I'm just using it to show the meaning of per. Prophetos means a prophet. It's obviously what it means. Our Latin word is the same. Ecclesiam, our word ecclesiastical, something that belongs to the church. Ecclesiam means church. Baptisma, obviously, means baptism. Expecto means to await. We have actually two words here, ex, and then the word specto, the S disappears. Expecto means to look towards something, to await something. Expecto means I'm looking for it, waiting for it. Our word spectator is in that word specto. Remissionem is remission, something that you send back. RE is back. Missio, we have a mission, is something you're sent on. So remissionem is remission, something that is sent back, given back. Since here it means forgiven, or remission of sins. All right, thank you.